This is important for us to know because right now we have Matan Torah. Matan Torah is literally in less than a week. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to give each one of us the Torah. He has to give each one of us the Torah, and we have to answer on Shavuot, why should you give me the Torah again? What am I going to do with it after all? If I didn't listen to it over the last year, and I'm not planning on listening to it for the next year, then why do we even celebrate Matan Torah? What, so we can have some milk products? We have some ma'adan? We have some cheesecake? You ask people, how did you prepare for Shavuot? Oh, I made 2 cheesecakes. So that's it, Matan Torah is replaced with cheesecakes? This is what we have? We replaced the Matan Torah with cheesecakes? Now, the Torah says that before MaShiach comes, there's going to be a lot of major changes in the world. Some of those changes we see already. For example, the fact that the entire world is on the verge of war. It's not a secret anymore. Everybody wants to fight already. Every other day, there's a new threat from Iran that they want to annihilate Eretz Yisrael, Hashem Yachim. Every other day, there's a new threat from America with new policies that are not exactly as great as we thought they should be for Am Yisrael. For anybody who doesn't know, just less than 6 months ago, Judaism was under threat in New York and across the country because the government here decided that they want to make a new law. They said that from now on, Jewish schools have to teach 7 hours of secular studies, meaning that the yeshiva is going to teach more about history and English and math than even the public school, leaving the yeshiva no time to actually teach Torah. This is right now happening under our noses. And it's under appeal, and they're fighting it, and they're hoping it's not going to pass. But the point is that Hashem is obviously showing us that don't be so comfortable. Don't be so comfortable. After all, this is still Egypt. Don't be so comfortable. It's still Egypt, it's still Greece, it's still Edom. Yes, we're here. Yes, we have the freedom of speech. We can say whatever we want and put it on YouTube. But the reality is, everything can change in a second. And the Gemara says that before Mashiach comes, money will become worthless. So everybody that's saving for this rainy day, with their IRA and their 401k and the Bitcoins and the Schmidt coins and the stock market and the real estate and all that stuff, just so you know, if Mashiach comes, none of that stuff is going to matter. None of that stuff is going to matter. Why? Because money becomes worthless when Mashiach comes. Or before, actually. Even more so. The leaders that we're going to have before Mashiach comes will do things that are against the people. That's already happening. You have Bibi Netanyahu in Eretz Yisrael. Everybody loved him. Until recently when he said he has a new halacha. Because he decided that we need Eurovision. We need Eurovision in Eretz Yisrael. He made a new halacha. 30,000 Israeli Jews can violate Shabbat for Eurovision, for the sake of Eurovision. Interestingly, Hashem didn't like this new halacha. So now Bibi Netanyahu doesn't have a government anymore. He has to run again. He embarrassed the Shabbat, he's getting embarrassed publicly now. Before Mashiach comes, a lot of these leaders are going to do things that are upside down. They're not going to make a lot of sense. But most importantly, before Mashiach comes, the rabbi of Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkenos, says it's only going to come for a dor shekulo zakai or dor shekulo chayav. It's only going to come in a generation where everyone is righteous or everyone is wicked. So the Chachamim says this is impossible. It's impossible that everybody's going to be righteous because there's always going to be a few reshaim. There's always going to be a few guys that still like to go to clubs. There's always going to be a few guys that cheat in business. There's always going to be a few guys that are liars. There's always going to be a few guys like that. You can't say the whole generation is going to be tzaddikim. Even a generation of Moshe Rabbeinu had reshaim. But you can't say that there's going to be a whole generation of wicked people. There's always going to be a few tzaddikim. There's always a few big rabbis, a few people doing tshuva, a few people doing good things. There's always a few. So what does it mean? Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkenos says, no. It's not that the whole generation will be good or the whole generation will be bad. is that there's going to be so many problems before Mashiach comes around the world. Money is going to become worthless. The inflation is going to go through the roof, to the point where it's going to be worse than what happened in Germany 90 years ago, where by the time you took a whole caravan of cash to the store to buy a loaf of bread, it wasn't enough because the price doubled already. You need 2 caravans. The inflation is going to be so sky high. The economy is going to be upside down. The rules are going to be anti-Torah. Homosexuality is going to be everywhere. All types of things are going to be mamash upside down world. That at that moment, every single Jew is going to have to make a choice. I'm either going to be 100% Baal Tshuva, 100% I'm keeping all the Torah that I know, I'm keeping it, or I'm going to become a Christian. Idol worshiper or Kodesh Kodashim. One or the other. There's not going to be any more middle ground. There's not going to be any more, I'm a Shomer Shabbat, but I still like to go to clubs. I'm a Shomer Shabbat, but I'm still cheating in my business. There's no such thing. Either you're tzaddik all the way, you keep everything that you know, or you're not going to keep anything. Why? Because Hashem is going to give so many tests to this generation that we're in, this last generation before Mashiach, that everyone is going to have to make a choice. He's going to have to make a choice. Am I going to be with Hashem or against Hashem?